Hedge. Can you say hedge? That's how you say hello in Sweden. Welcome to Patrika's Little Star Cafe. Facts that are fast, fun, and keep you happy. Today is Friday, May 1st, 2020. And here are today's matters for chatter. Number 1. Remember we mentioned that Sweden is one country which is not imposing lockdowns? Instead, it is suggesting self-responsibility, which means one should stay at home if not well, stay at a distance from others when out, and not gather more than 50 people at once. Well, when there's a festival coming up, what should it do? Take a risk? No. So the city of Lund, which has a huge university population, it's decided to drop tons of chicken manure, in the parks to keep people from staying out. The stink will do its job, but manure also works as a fertilizer, so there will be lush greenery in the summers, hopefully. Number 2, coronavirus is not only affecting companies, but also government businesses like museums and authorities like the Supreme Court. For the first time in the history of the over 200 years, the Supreme Court will be hearing cases over the telephone and it will broadcast them. Obviously, some secret cases won't be broadcasted, but this is an effort to keep the lawmaker going while the country is in lockdown. The Smithsonian, which runs the federal museums and the National Zoo, has also decided to cut salaries of its top executives. Most of its federal employees get paid much lesser than its top executives, so it's okay for them to do that. The cut would really shake up people who earn much less. In fact, CEOs of many large companies have decided to take pay cuts too, or take a token $1 as a responsibility to their companies, who could be suffering because of the lockdown. Number 3, attention all the master chefs in making. While sitting at home, what does one do? Browse the net, read books, and probably cook if they want to stay happy and healthy. While internet data demand has surged, so has the need for baking supplies like flour and yeast. In fact, so much that it has been often hard to find yeast and flour in some grocery stores, or maybe when you don't have the time to run back to the store to get it. So someone came up with alternatives to these high-in-demand ingredients. In case you run short of milk, you can try a non-dairy option or powder milk option. When you can't use eggs, try applesauce or yogurt, or the liquid leftover from the chickpeas. And if you don't have yeast, try to get the dough to rise for a longer time to allow fermenting. That's also healthier. And now for today's mega matter. A school district in Alaska has removed 5 classic books from its class curriculum. This is different from banning a book because you can still pick it up from the library and read it at your own will in these school districts. These classics include F. Scott Fitzgerald's The Great Gatsby, Maya Angelou's book Catch-22, for instance. Some of these topics may be mature for certain students, and the teachers must also treat the reading material with openness and discussion. So to avoid any problems, the school decided to remove the books. Fair. But people in the city feel that kids need to read these books to understand the complexities of society. And to encourage people, they're giving $100 rewards, as well as free lunches. It's a tough call, but when we want to give our kids all the exposure to be empathetic and compassionate citizens, we also don't want to misguide their perceptions and thoughts on ideas if it's not discussed in a comfortable setting. We want our kids to be exposed and mature, but there's a timing for everything. If these books are read outside of school 2 years later, not much will be lost too. Sometimes it's how we react to decisions which makes all the difference. Today's word of the day is to ban, which means to shun away. And finally, for today's quote of the day, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. That's a quote by Seneca the Younger. Thank you for listening, and do send us your questions and comments via WhatsApp, or you can email us at diptyanti@gmail.com. Take care. Lots of love, Dipti Auntie. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. Do you know how loved you are?